Whee. Oh, I'm dizzy. Oh, should have done that. Oh, now we're on the intro. Sorry about that. Right. Hi guys, it's Rob from All Out Performance UK coming at you with my episode 3 for my Road to 200 kilo back squat. So my last 2 videos I showed you are my Monday sessions. I thought I'd show you a different day. I thought I'd show you my Thursday session. The way I've kind of planned this out today is I was going to work up to sort of like a heavier single paused block clean, pausing at the bottom of the squat. So when it comes to sort of squatting stuff, if I do like a repetition method one day, I like to do a completely different variation on another day later in the week. So whether that's pause or, you know, plyometric style squats, so like jump squats or something, just something different from like whatever I did on Monday. So today I decided to kind of combine kind of like a pause front squat kind of just into a squat clean, just because I fancied some Olympic lifting today. I don't get the opportunity to do it much just because of the style of training I'm doing at the moment. So I just thought I'd throw it in there just because I enjoy it. So I started with just the empty bar, just to kind of, I always do, just to kind of do some reps. 1, just to reinforce form. 2, just to go over some important points of the lift. And 3, well, pretty much it, just to work on form, get warm. After that, I jumped to 40 kilos, and then after 40 kilos, I just jumped up in 10s. So I just did 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So when I got to about 70 kilos, this is where I could tell where I was just neurologically fatigued. So even though I felt physically fine, my central nervous system is 100% fatigued due to the high level of output I had on Monday. I did a max effort single for my upper body on Tuesday. And I had kind of a piss around session yesterday where I ended up using a slingshot, which I'll put a clip on now. And then worked up to sort of a heavy single for that as well. So 3 days on a trot working at pretty much near max intensity is not a smart idea, but I wanted to try the slingshot out and was a bit impatient, and yeah, it's pretty much left my central nervous system in bits today. So when I got to 70, I kind of had to change my session a little bit. What I was going to do is I was going to do like some heavy singles at sort of 110, 115, and today I just decided to stop at 100. So when I got to 100, I stopped there just because I felt myself start to slow down. And what I really wanted to do is kind of pause on the bottom of my front squat, work on staying nice and upright, keeping my back real tight, and then just driving out of that static position. Just because when I do my back squats, like my sticking point's about halfway up. So I really want to try and, you know, work on my acceleration from the bottom and kind of push through that sticking point with as much momentum as possible. And, you know, the way to do that is kind of take away the stretch reflex and try and accelerate from that static position at the bottom. As I said in my previous video, that's what I really want to work on, is my power and just my acceleration out of the bottom, just to kind of push my back squat that a little bit further up. Right, so the rest of my session I wanted to do hypertrophy work for my back. So the reason I want to do hypertrophy for my back is not only to obviously build mass, but to build, you know, that structure in order to support my back squat. So it's a massively missed area, as a lot of people worry about just squatting and leg strength. Having a really strong back is going to massively boost up your back squat. Whether you squat high bar or low bar, you know, you need a really strong back. You need strong lats, strong traps, and to be able to, you know, keep that back tight, to maintain that throughout the range of motion of the lift. I'd say more so if you squat low bar, but it's still really important even if you squat high bar, because you need that back strength to be able to maintain that upright torso and even push through the weight as you're squatting. So especially important if you squat low bar. I started off with 3 sets of 8, bent over row of a dumbbell. It's my go-to. I feel like I get the most bang for my buck for it. I really feel it in my back the most when I do the exercise. And that's kind of why I started with that movement. It's pretty much all I can talk about that. After that, I did weighted pull-ups. So again, another bang for a buck exercises. I love doing pull-ups in general. what I love doing more than pull-ups is doing weight pull-ups. So I tend to avoid doing pull-ups with just my own body weight. I always like to challenge myself, whether it's even just a 2.5 kilo plate or a 25 kilo plate, depending on how I feel that day, or how many reps I plan on doing. Today I did 3 sets of 6 with 10 kilos. I'm still feeling pretty drained from the session. Obviously I started my session with bent over row, so my back's already a little fatigued, so I decided to keep the weight a little bit lower. I only did 10 kilos today, and I only did 3 sets of 6 today because I felt like I was planning on doing 3 sets of 8, but in my first set I got to 5, and I was just like, I'm gonna really struggle to do the next 3 reps. So I did 6 and stopped there, and decided to just do 3 sets of 6. I also got to do this neutral grip today, which is a kind of rare thing for me. I don't ever really do neutral grip. Coming from a background of doing sort of CrossFit style stuff, I'd always do pull-ups in pronated grip, just because it has more carryover to other movements I do in that sport. But I always recommend change up your grip variation fairly often, just because it really helps with changing the stimulus. I mean, such a small thing can lead to really drastic results in pulling strength. So if you do pull-ups either always supinated or always neutral, always pronated, try a different grip, see how it plays out. It might be that little extra bit that helps bust through that pull-up plateau, whether you're trying to get your first one or if you're just trying to add another 5 kilos to your 1 rep max pull-up, give it a go. And guys, that's all I did for my session today. Just pause, clean, bent over row, weight pull-ups. So fairly quick session, not much on the plate, but I just didn't feel like I had more in the tank either. So if you're having days where you're neurologically drained, don't push it, because it's kind of a sign to chill out. So I'm definitely going to take the day off tomorrow. Probably going to end up taking the day off Saturday as well, it being Thursday today, and probably going to end up taking the day off Sunday. I've maxed out pretty much 3 days in a row, and your neurological system takes longer to recover than you think. My advice, guys, would be to not do what I did. If you're feeling neurologically drained, take the day off, or if you're like me, get a little bit antsy if you don't get to go to the gym, do a real light active recovery day, something low impact, low weight, 20 to 30% of your max effort, just something just to get the blood flowing and get your muscles warm. Don't do anything to stimulate strength or stimulate hypertrophy. Keep it super light and just treat your whole session like a warm-up, essentially. And I promise you, the next day or two, you'll feel so much better for it, rather than like pushing through that and just stressing your neurological system more. That is a big sign, especially if you're into strength training, is you need to take enough days off in order to recover, not just your body's muscular system, but also your central nervous system. When you lift heavy weights, you are stressing the central nervous system, and it needs to recover, and it needs longer than you think. Usually about 48 to 72 hours, somewhere in there. So just keep that in mind if you are strength training. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Not much on the agenda, but I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some insight into that, and see you in the next video. Take care, I'm out.